Alright everybody, welcome to Da Vinci Gaming. Today we're trying something really different here for the channel. This is a demo game called Ambition, a Minuet, and Power. The Steam description of this game: 18th century Paris, a city of love, lies, and revolution. You are a woman of fashion trying to survive the political turmoil. Date a cast of unforgettable characters. Amass the wealth and respect you deserve. Engage in gossip that can alter the course of history or lead you to the guillotine. Alright guys, this sounds like a fun one. Let's get dating. The carriage rumbles and bounces along the cobbles as you approach Paris. It's taken over a week to get here, even carrying just yourself and your luggage. These dots means that there's more story ahead. Click anywhere in the text box to advance. Your fiancé, Armand, arranged for the carriage to take you from your small village to the tavern he enjoys called the Orphan's Feast. There, he'll meet up with you. You'll likely take dinner together, and then he'll show you to your new home in Paris. For now, though, you've already finished all your books, and Armand's letter is your only entertainment. Rather than staring out the window. Might as well take in some sights. Reading the letter one more time wouldn't hurt. Coachman, let's go. I don't have all day. Let's take in the sights. You crane your neck out the window to peer at Paris. It's even more than you imagined. The streets are a riot of color and energy as the people go about their day. Elegant persons of fashion strut like brilliant peacocks. Students stumble over the weight of their books. Beggars alternate between pleading for alms and shouting invectives at passers-by. Everything feels significant, like the world's next act hinges on all of their choices. Though part of you is worried by your unfamiliar surroundings, you mostly feel excited. This place is to be the stage of your new life. Coachman, pick up the pace, man! After a quiet sigh, the coachman obediently flicks at the reins and the horses up their pace to a brisk trot. The city blurs by as you quickly make your way towards the Orphan's Feast, the tavern where Armand said he would meet you. As tired and as rumpled as you are, you're glad that he arranged to meet you in a place with ample food and wine. When you arrive, the coachman helps you out of the carriage, and you find yourself outside a glowing, friendly-looking tavern. The sign shows a grubby-looking child holding a plate piled high with fresh bread and roasted meats. This must be the place! Inside, a woman polishing a lantern looks up at you as you enter, and her face breaks into a bright smile. Bonjour, madame, and welcome to the Orphan's Feast. Her eyes linger expectantly on the door for a moment, before settling on you. You're suddenly reminded of how rare it is for women to travel by themselves. How may I be of service, she asks. I'm looking for my fiancé, Baron Armand de Marbeau.
Huh.
Oh, a missing person. That actually sounds interesting. Barmaid pauses to think. I haven't heard that name before, but I just started working today. If you ask around, some of our patrons might know where to find your fiancé. While you only have one outfit to your name at the moment, the Orphan's Feast doesn't feel like a particularly judgmental place in the terms of fashion. Your credibility won't be shifted by what you're wearing here. As long as you explore the tavern and talk to people, you should be able to find Armand soon enough. Let's get the guy here. Oh, there we go. A reason for travel. A fellow traveler sits at a nearby table. Having recently become acquainted with Paris himself, perhaps he'll be able to point you in the right directions. So you have a potential reward. You lose a little credibility, and there's a little peril. Return to the party, or pick a conversation. You approach a man standing by himself. His wig is slightly disheveled, as he has fresh mud on his boots.
Hmm.
Oh, bonjour, madame. You must have just arrived in Paris as well. Where did you travel from? It was nowhere significant. I'm happy to be here. Or should we tell him that we're actually looking for the Baron? I'm actually looking for someone. Do you know where I could find the Baron? Why does that name sound so familiar? His eyes go wide for a moment before settling into an expression of discomfort. Gathering up his things, he starts to prepare to leave. Sorry, madame, I simply haven't been here long enough to know enough about him. Monsieur, please. Are you sure you can't remember anything? What is this? This choice requires an easy credibility challenge. This choice will increase your peril by a small amount. He sighs and looks from side to side, obviously torn on what to do. Getting close to you, he whispers, If you must know, madame, your fiancé has made a powerful enemy, and if you don't know how he did that, then you might want to reconsider him entirely. Without another word, he drains his wine glass and leaves. Wow, what an introduction to a story. While you may have learned something, you feel like you still have more questions than answers. You should be able to clear all this up when you find Armand. Let's go. A country woman. Now that you're more acclimated to the guests and travelers of the Orphan's Feast, you should be able to find someone that can lead you to Armand. Pick a conversation with him. After hours of questioning and searching, it's late in the evening and you've still yet to find Armand. After hours of questioning and searching, it's late in the evening and the music seeping through, and you've still yet to find Armand. You're not even sure why, but you feel exhausted. Who knew talking to people was such hard work? Now that you are warmed up, this may be your chance to finally find out where Armand is. You approach a woman who you had spotted glancing your way earlier. Pardon me, have you seen the Baron de Marbeau? At the mention of Armand's full title, she laughs nervously. She makes small talk for a brief moment before excusing herself and disappearing into the crowd. The room appears to be emptying out. A gentleman you remember seeing earlier walks by. He might prove a little more useful. Monsieur, a moment of your time? He looks at you, glances over at the woman who you spoke to earlier, then quickens his pace as he walks by. This room is emptying even faster now. You manage to get the attention of another woman. Alright, this choice is for characterization purposes. It will not impact your path or stats. Speak your mind. Hello, could you excuse... Hello. She doesn't even slow down before she leaves. After a third person gives you the cold shoulder, you start to wonder what happened. Are you really that out of place? Is it something about Armand? What is going on here? Still, you check around the Orphan's Feast one last time. There's no sign of Armand. Not even an open tab with a tavern keep. After waiting around for a few hours, you leave the Orphan's Feast, dragging your small mountain of luggage behind you. After all, the coach was only hired to take you to the tavern. Armand may not have been waiting for you like he said he would, but you memorized his address from all the times you wrote it on your letters to him. It's the middle of the night, but the street is still teeming with life. The light from the windows and the street lamps sparkle like stars. You're tired and your feet hurt, but still, you can't help but smile. This is it. This is it. This is Paris. No matter what happens, you're still here. For a brief moment, you're not a country girl dragging luggage through the streets. You're a person you feel that you are. When you close your eyes, alone. You're overseeing a grand salon, surrounded by poets, musicians, scientists, philosophers, and artists. You are elegant, sophisticated, respected. You're getting close to the address. Armand never described his living conditions much. But he's the son of a baron, and his family was always well-to-do, especially compared to yours. You spent a lot of time in that carriage wondering about the home you'd spend your new life in. Still, you didn't expect this. Calling the house rustic would imply that you're out in the country, not in the center of a city. The neighborhood is nice enough, but you're worried that if you breathe too hard on the building, it'll fall over. A well-kept woman in the attire of a maid opens the door and approaches you. Oh, bonjour. I assume you must be Madame Minuet. My name is Camille. Monsieur Armand told me to expect you. Oh, mercy, Camille. Please take me to Armand. I was hoping he was with you, Camille replies. I haven't seen him in days. Oh, thank you, Camille. Do you think Armand's all right? I'm sure he's fine, madame, Camille replies with the tone of a voice that doesn't fill with confidence. Glancing around, Camille seems to notice your mountain of luggage for the first time. Mon Dieu, madame. Did you carry this all yourself? You must be exhausted. She's not wrong. You're not certain how long you're still upright and awake now. I've already made your bed, madame. Please go inside. Let me take care of this. You take your diary, the most important possession in your life, and leave the heavy lifting to Camille. The inside of the house isn't much better than the outside. Camille keeps the place tidy, but she can only do so much. Still, you don't care about that right now. You're just happy to have a roof over your head. You flop down on a nearby couch, open your diary, and start to write. You're tired, disappointed, and perhaps abandoned. But writing things down always helps you make a sense of a situation. Alright, the Orphan's Feast. Hosted by Madame de Tauville. Novelty loss, 0. Rewards, 0. Alright, so I guess we have 100 pounds on money. We've got credibility and peril. So we have 0 credibility. We have 0 peril right now. 21 Mars, 1789. Early the next morning, Camille approaches you, occasionally wringing her apron with her hands. She's obviously nervous. Madame, there's something you should know. You're expected to attend a party the day after tomorrow, held by one of Baron Maxim de Thames. Armand replied to the invitation, but you were to be his date. Splendid, a party? Camille, do you know anything about this Baron Maxim? I'm sorry, madame, but I don't know much. It would have been improper for me to pry into Monsieur Armand's affairs. All I know is this Baron de Thames is a very outspoken political type, always going on about constitutions and natural law. Monsieur Armand attended a lot of his salons, but never looked happy when he came back from them. I hope this helps, madame. Well, at least I have a party to go to. Camille looks visibly relieved. Parfait. If you need anything washed or prepared, just ask. That reminds me, Camille exclaims. If you're going to a party, you should probably make sure you're dressed appropriately. Fashion moves so quickly here that people retire outfits before they even wear out. At this proclamation, you can't help but notice that Camille's uniform has been repaired many, many times. Camille continues, Monsieur Armand was always going through clothes so quickly. He said that every outfit had a certain amount of novelty. Every time you wore them, the novelty would go down a bit. In fact, even a little thing like wearing the same thing twice in a row could run the novelty out faster. Can you imagine? Y'all gotta excuse my French on all my pronunciations. Fortunately, he knew the most delightful clothier on Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honor. He runs a shop called La Petite Mogul. The little bitty Mongol? I don't know. Or mongrel. I don't know what that word is. I'll draw you some directions. Immediately, she starts sketching some directions. Mostly just simple renderings of local landmarks. Le Petit Mogul is now available to visit in the Paris map. If you head out today, you should be well prepared for the party tomorrow night. Alright, cool. Also, we got a calendar here also. We got a wardrobe, and we've got our journal. Explore Paris. There we go. Oh, wow. This is a big map here. Alright, here's the shop. Let's go jump to the shop. A small shop run by a dressmaker, Fatima Shina. Spend your day here to buy and sell wardrobe items. Let's visit it. It's a long walk to the Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honore, but the trek to the narrow streets is worth it. Every block hums with vibrant energy, bursting with life. Porters and social climbers wind their way through the streets, festooned with brightly colored parcels. Paris may be a city swimming in fashion and finery, but this is the source. The street is home to all the major fashion houses in the country, and to Rose Burton, personal dressmaker to the Queen herself. And now you're here. Back home, they sigh and dream of places like this, then quietly get back to their little lives. Not you. Your circumstances may be less than ideal, but you're still here. La Petite Mogul, you mumble to yourself idly, trying to make sure you remember the name of the shop. Eventually you find a small boutique tucked between some far grander buildings. You open the door and walk into the tiny shop, which seems even smaller due to how absolutely full it is. This isn't just a boutique, it's a workshop for whoever works here. Rolls of gorgeous fabric cover every available surface. A cloying smoke hangs in the air. The scent is pleasant, but wholly unfamiliar. As soon as the door swings shut behind you, you hear a subtle rustling of fabric further in the store. A customer! Hamdullah! A surprising young voice calls out. They're surprised to have a customer? That's probably a bad sign. We're probably, the catfish. We're on the bottom feeder of the fashion industry here. Bonjour, madame, and welcome to La Petite Mogul. A woman, presumably the owner, calls out to you. How may I help you? I have an important party soon, and I need to look amazing. Her eyes light up. Madame, you have come to the right place. Okay, looks like we have some options here. We have a plain thrifty outfit, a conservative thrifty outfit, a virginal pricey outfit, a virginal luxurious outfit, a virginal pricey outfit. Well, we can't really get any of these virginals. I guess we're not virginal enough. We're going with plain or conservative, huh? This one's just a little bit less, so let's go ahead and get that for now. 22nd of Mars, 1789. You awaken to the vision of sunlight filtering through the shutters, scattering sunbeams across the dusty bedroom. It takes a few minutes before you groggily remember the events that brought you here. You also remember that tonight you have a party to attend. Camille enters your bedroom, already full of cheer. Madame, when would you like to start getting ready? If this is important as the invitation makes it seem, you should start preparing now. That's good to hear. These preparations always seem to take all day long. On days where you have a party, you won't really have time to spend exploring Paris. Once you go to your wardrobe, we can get started. Don't worry, Camille. I'm already quite good at this. No tutorial. I've never really done anything like this. Is there anything I should know? Show me the tutorial. Don't worry, madame. A glamorous woman like yourself is sure to catch on quickly. Alright, click here to go to the wardrobe. Well, our provincial outfit has better stats than the thrifty outfit. But alright, let's go. When your carriage drops you off at the party, you find yourself waiting in line for quite some time. Looking at the other guests, you wonder if you're underdressed, overdressed. It's honestly hard to tell. You look over yourself one last time and confirm that you're wearing your plain thrifty outfit to a party held by the Revolution. Everyone has their preferences, and you've heard that they prefer their guests to wear a modest outfit. Yours is plain. They also like to see vintage outfit. Yours is thrifty. The guests approve of your outfit, and your credibility has increased. With preparations like this, tonight should be a largely positive affair. While you're determining your standing in the world of fashion, you manage to overhear an interesting rumor while in line. You make a mental note of it, just in case. You have gained a piece of cheap revolution gossip. This will be useful later. Unfortunately, you can feel exhaustion set in as soon as you think of the full itinerary ahead of you. Tonight is going to be a long night. Being exhausted has given you a credibility penalty. Immediately upon entering the vestibule, you're greeted by a doorman holding a small ledger. While he isn't physically barring your entry, his manner certainly is. Name, madame? Yvette Deco.
Oh.
The doorman looks perplexed at you for a moment, flipping through his ledger. I don't see your name here. I am Baron Armand de Marmo's date. He could not attend. That is most unfortunate. Baron de Termes was so looking forward to seeing him tonight. Please convey our deepest regrets in his absence. Is there anything I can get you? Please convey my deepest gratitude to our host, and I'm eager to meet him. Yes, absolutely, madame. The Baron shall hear of it quite soon. You hear some murmurs from other guests in the vestibule. Your gratitude and enthusiasm seem to have made an impression on them, though the doorman seems rather unfazed. You have gained a little credibility. Before you can ask any other questions, he bows deeply to you. Pardons. Baron de Termes instructed me specifically to inform him as soon as you had arrived. We heard so much about you. That could be a good thing or that could be a bad thing. Enjoy the party, he says with a smile before leaving. The young firebrand. Two guests are clearly looking for someone else at this event. Apparently a new revolutionary figure has arisen in Paris. One that's winning quite a bit of favor among the more radical elements. In fact, you might even be able to meet such a person later. Alright, another option is this person, a revolutionary host. This woman, standing by herself, seems quite fascinated by the host of the party. So that's only 5 peril there. And this one, the cardinal sin. A pair of gentlemen are huddled together and speaking in low voices about some scandalous event that took place in the countryside. That information could be useful later. That's some cheap church gossip. We lose some credibility. A little bit of peril. Alright, let's do this one. You spot 2 guests who are talking to each other but appear to be on the lookout for someone else. Every few moments their conversation breaks off so they can collectively glance around the room. Something about them feels tense. Is he even attending tonight? I have no idea, though we should be able to spot him quite easily. Keep on the lookout for a remarkably handsome young man with charisma, a hatred for authority, and a penchant for extreme violence, the man replies, a little too loudly, while he pretends to sip from a glass of wine. The woman stares at her friend incredulously. How exactly does one spot a penchant for extreme violence? Examine the way others treat him. If people keep their distance, then that's your man. Who are you looking for? Louis Antoine de Saint-Just. The older man whispers to you as he steps to the side and lets you into the conversation circle. Our host, Maximum, invited him from Blairancourt. Maximum thinks the young man would make a fine revolutionary, but I have my doubts. Doubts? What have you heard? All I've heard is this young, zealous, and handsome, a charismatic firebrand. It's the zealous part I'm worried about, the older man replies, furrowing his brow. I've never met him, but I know a few men that have. Saint-Just is very open to the idea of violence in order to secure freedoms for the Third Estate, and it's quite cold to those who don't agree. The one isn't supposed to treat politics like a religion. There's something dark in that boy. It worries me. Violence only begets violence. France needs civil reform, not a civil war. Quite right, the man agrees with you. The Estates General is soon, and we need to stay focused on what's important and what we can all agree on. Taxing the nobility, engaging in land reform, and beginning a new constitutional monarchy. Agreed to a new harmonious France. His friend raises her wine glass, and you toast together and drink deep of the red wine you obtained from a servant earlier. Ooh, we raise some credibility. After your toast, you spend a few more minutes with these guests, exchanging banter and political ruminations. Much of it is unfamiliar to you, but by the end of the conversation, you find yourself able to keep up pretty easily. You've gained a little credibility. You've lost a little favor with Louis Antoine Saint-Just. You'll meet him later. Eventually, with an exchange of polite nods, you part ways with your erstwhile friends in order to explore the rest of the party. Oh, now we have another new person here. This is the only one that we can have a conversation with. Maximum appears. A man dressed in the sober colors of revolutionary is marching towards you, stopping occasionally to shake hands with various like-minded people. You can surmise that this is a Baron de Terme, the man who invited you and Armand here. So we're going to lose a little credibility and get some peril here. We got to talk to the dude, though. He's the host of the party. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice a tall, thin man dressed in somber, serious colors. The way people are clustered around him, you get the feeling that he's quite important. He glances up from his current conversation, politely excuses himself, and approaches you. You must be Madame Tocco. I'm not sure if Armand spoke of me, but I am Baron Maxim. Right as he focuses his attention on you, you can feel everyone in the room watching you out of the corner of their eyes. His opinion must carry a great deal of weight. But please, let's dispense with titles. You may call me Maximum. The crowd chuckles. You can't help but be surprised by this noble's informality. This would be downright scandalous in any other circle. The conversations in the various corners of the room die down as people strain to hear your exchange with Maximum.
Oh-ho!
It's great to meet the woman Armand spoke so much of. He said more about you than he did the state of the nation, and you know how much he loves that. Maximum smiles as he offers a knowingly wink. Now that I've seen you, I can see why he had such muddled priorities. Ooh, more credibility. We're getting our street cred up. In fact, you may both find these useful. He grabs a jumbled stack of political pamphlets off of his desk and hands them to you. Discourse moves so rapidly, after all. And I would hate for the two of you to have any trouble keeping up. A few voices in the crowd murmur some approval. Maximum pauses, his eyes sweeping the room for a moment. But please, I must trouble you with a question of my own. I've been told that Armand is unable to join us tonight. What has delayed him? I actually don't know. I don't even know where he is. You lost him? A sudden note of confusion. And you came here? With a flood of realization, he laughs. Oh, but of course, you're just here at my salon to find your Armand. And I thought you were here for our enlightened discourse. But no, this makes much more sense. Your loyalty to Armand is commendable and exactly the sort of thing we're striving to bring to this troubled nation of ours. A small cheer goes up from some of the crowd. Street cred up! Of course, it's a shame your loyalty is anchored to such mediocrity. If he's lost, then it means we no longer have to entertain his traitorous ideas. Ooh, that's a big turn. Alright, so that's going to increase our peril. Don't want to do that. If he was so mediocre, yeah, hit him hard right in the nose. I invited your dullard fiancé in order to denounce him and his views. People like himself should not waste their time clouding discussions with their dangerous ignorance. They're better served by repeating the words of their more revolutionary peers. Uh-oh, I think we're getting in trouble. Maxim narrows his eyes until they're barely more than slits. In fact, you can practice this virtue now and make sure that he hears this should you manage to find him. His wild and unseemly ideas make him an enemy of the revolution, an enemy of the common people of France, and an enemy of mine. The only thing he can do to atone for his miserable views is to take you and return to the backwards obscurity from whence he came. Maxim's voice drops low to a growl barely above a whisper. Before you speak, I already know what you're thinking. That somehow you don't deserve this. You're wrong. Our associations reflect our character, and you have chosen to associate yourself with a dangerous boor who drags at the heels of true progress in France. I can only assume that you're a craven opportunist who thought that marrying into a title would provide an easy path above our peers, that your life would be easy if you just found the right person to latch onto, like a barnacle or a leech. You're a fool for believing that, and he's a fool for loving you. Titles don't elevate us above consequences. Now leave my house and never return. Holy crap, dudes. This is getting intense for a dating sim. Before you can reply, a valet grabs you roughly by the arm and drags you from the study. People like your loathsome host don't need to do their own dirty work. They have servants for it. It takes far longer than you'd like to get outside, as the entryway is crowded with guests preparing to leave. You can feel their eyes weighing heavily on you. When you finally get to the door, you feel a brutish shove, and you stumble out in the courtyard, barely keeping your balance in your heels. The area is equally crowded with various persons entering the personal carriages. You can hear somebody snicker, but you have no idea who it is. The only thing left to do is go home. That's some big talk about titles for a man who can't even do his own dirty work. Boiling over with anger, you turn and rain insults upon the house. In fact, you consider throwing your shoe through one of their windows before you remember how much you like that shoe. It's then that you notice several of the carriages have stopped just to watch your display. Scanning the faces of your new audience, you see the glaring, unamused faces of various party guests. You're certain that your hatred of Maxim, the revolution, and everything else he stands for is going to be well known throughout the city soon enough. You lost favor with members of the revolution. You've gained favor with members of the crown. You'll meet these people later. You grace the voyeurs with a haughty sneer before leaving towards your own carriage. However, when you arrive at the place where your carriage is parked, you quickly find out that it isn't. It's gone. You check to make sure you're in the right place, but to no avail. The carriage you hired is simply not there. He went home, a passing coachman says, while adjusting the harness on a particularly grumpy horse. Doorman came out about an hour ago and told him you wanted the coach to leave without you. Seemed real important, so he went home. Before you can even respond, he gets his carriage moving, leaving you alone with yet another indignity. Going back to Maximum is obviously unacceptable. It's too far to walk home, and most of the other guests have already left. Wow, perplexing situation here. However, there appears to be 3 other carriages waiting to leave, each of them quite different. Perhaps one of them can help. An extravagant carriage to the right. The carriage to your right is richly decorated yet somber. Swags of black crepe hang from the roof of the carriage, leaving only glimmers of gold underneath. The decidedly feminine bent of the decorations indicate the occupant is a woman, but all the black suggests she's in mourning. You consider the extravagant carriage for a moment. Is this who you'd like to ride with? A wealthy widow helping a lost soul? Yes. Settled in your decision, you set out ready to entrust your fortune to a mysterious stranger. The coachman pays you no heed as you approach the sumptuously decorated carriage. Normally, you find yourself to be quite fearless in social situations, but something about this whole scenario gives you pause. Should you knock on the door? Call out? You've heard that courtiers in Versailles grow out one of their fingernails so that they can scratch on the door, as it's considered less disruptive. Locked in the cycle of indecision, you curse the fact that you cut your fingernails just this morning. What seems to be troubling you, madame? Madame, my fiancé is lost. Our host denounced me and my carriage is gone. Can you help?
Ah.
How tragic. What kind of person would I be if I didn't take pity on a helpless soul? You've gained a little favor with her. Renee, the door, please. With that, Renee, the coachman, hops down from his box and opens the door for you. He wears the same colorful livery of most of his servants, but it's adorned with a black badge on his breast. You squint to peer at the woman inside, but to no avail. Between the swags of black crepe obscuring the windows and the lack of lanterns within the carriage, the entire inside is shrouded in gloom. A delicate, pale hand reaches out from the darkness for you. Take the hand, step inside. After a few seconds, your eyes adjust to the shadows and you see the woman in front of you. She's older than yourself, but still younger than you'd expect. Dressed in luxurious mourning clothes, she reclines easily in her seat, clutching a fine glass filled with water. My name is Honorade. What should I call you, madame? Decaux, Yvette Decaux. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shall we be off? She knocks delicately on the roof, and with a clean crack of the coachman's whip, the carriage makes its way. While I saw you a few times during the party tonight, and I know that you are new to Paris, we never had a chance to properly introduce ourselves. However, I did manage to hear about your most unfortunate run-in with our host. Why were they so dreadfully cruel to you? Apparently, they're enemies with my lost fiancé, and I want to snub him by berating me. She doesn't speak for a while, instead choosing to stare into her glass of water with an expression of surprise and disgust. How vile. To find a person who has been beset by such great misfortune, then to mistreat them so. Just a posture among one's cohorts. That's truly despicable. You must be quite strong to endure such dreadful treatment. She examines you intently while she sips her water. I assume you're already planning your revenge? I know I would be. After a long silence, Honorade leans over to the window and looks out through one of the few spots not obscured by black crepe. Now I'm sure you know just how dangerous it is to accept rides from strangers. We could be going anywhere right now, and you wouldn't even know that. Have you heard of stranger danger? You are slightly uncomfortable, probably because she's making a good point. You stop to wonder if you'd be any good at leaping from a moving carriage. She interrupts your trains of thought, but of course the best way to fix that is by not being strangers. Ask me some questions so you may properly judge my character. Please indulge me. What would you like to know? How did you know our host? Would you believe that? I don't. Not really, at least. She chuckles into her glass before taking a leisurely sip. Of course, now that I know what they did to you, I have no intention of getting to know that conniving wretch at all. Until a few years ago, I was actually quite the homebody. My husband's textile mills made more than enough money for me to live a life of leisure, which he was happy to let me do. Though I'm sure he was frustrated by my unwillingness to attend all the big parties his clients would throw. Crowds don't really suit me, you see. I prefer more intimate gatherings. However, when Charles passed, I kept getting invitations. He had so many friends, and I hated the idea of letting him down more than the idea of being in a room filled with people I don't care about, so I started going. Listen to me. That was certainly more than you asked for. Now, what about you? What made me come to Paris? I'd always dreamed of being in Paris. It's a city at the center of the world. She may only be a few years older than you, but the way Honorade smiles at your answer is almost nostalgic. Running away to the beauty of Paris to see and be seen among the philosophers and persons of fashion. Gained a little more favor. That's really sweet. And I'm not just making fun. You're a sweet woman. Perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself, but I imagine the next question you'll ask me is how long I've been in mourning for. No? She's not wrong. That's a reasonable question, though. Not one I like answering. You see, as of last week, it's been 2.5 years. You maintain a neutral expression, but you can't help dwell on the fact that 2.5 years is far longer than any prescribed period of mourning. You've heard of widows wearing a black weeper on their gowns for a few months longer than most, but this is something else entirely. You're very polite. Most, when they hear that, take it upon themselves to chide me for my breach of decency. What do you think? Is 2.5 years too long to mourn for a lost love? There's something romantic about casting aside decency for the sake of grief. I think so too. Her lips twisting up in a devilish smile. How can we say we love someone if we're not willing to defy the rules of decency to do it? We yearn for a beloved that would do anything for us, and us for them. Yet the moment we see a pair of lovers actually behaving this way, we tell them they're sick or wicked. I'm glad to know you haven't fallen into that trap yourself. The journey of your home in Paris lasts for a long time, but it doesn't feel that way. Honorat plays the part of hostess wonderfully, always managing to guide the conversation in a satisfying direction. Unlike so many other persons you met in Paris, she seems completely uninterested in polite small talk, focusing instead on more interesting subjects. Love and loss, passion and transgression. You barely notice it when the carriage arrives at your home. Without interrupting you, Honorat signals to Renee. The coachman silently hops from his box at the head of the carriage and opens the door for you. Honorat offers her hand to help you up as you get out of your seat. When you take her hand, you find yourself looking into her eyes. Yvette, may I ask you to do something for me? Oh, certainly. When I introduced myself earlier, I told you to call me Honorat. Now that I've spoken with you a little more, I have had a change of heart. I would much more prefer if you call me Madame Gazelle when you addressed me. Would you be more comfortable with that? Yes, Madame Gazelle. She helps you down from the carriage and into the street in front of your home. Hopefully we shall meet again soon. Bonne nuit, Yvette, she says to you before Renee closes the carriage door. Soon, with a crack of his whip overhead, the coachman spurs the horses into action. The carriage winds through the streets and disappears into the night. You have gained some favor with Honorat. You turn to your home and see that Camille is already there, holding the door open for you. Who was that? A very intriguing woman, one that I'm hoping to see more of. Your mind brimming with new possibilities, you step inside and head upstairs. Slowly you get undressed and open your journal to record exactly what transpired. Alright, so we get a little bit of cheap revolutionary gossip. We gain some cred. And I guess we lost a little novelty there on our dress. Chapter 1. Establishing oneself. 23rd of Mars, 1789. You awaken the next morning in a bed that still feels unfamiliar. In the process of waking up, you start to recall the last night's humiliations and wish they were merely the product of your fitful dreams. Unable to go back to sleep, you spend some time tossing and turning in bed before finally sitting up. Nothing is going to make last night go away. The only option is deciding what to do next. You feel exhausted, not physically, but in your very soul. Like your fate in Paris has already been decided, and that to remain here would be pointless. It would just be humiliations of last night over and over again. However, stronger than the exhaustion is the simmering rage you feel. At the outrageousness of your circumstances, at the injustice of your treatment, and at the thought of going back to your tiny village after finally making it here to Paris. No, you must not go back. You can't go back. Not while a single candle of your ambition still burns. Camille pops into your room, already dressed and ready for the day. Bonjour, madame. It looks like you've had quite an active night. Is there anything I can get you? Please find a spare pillow and smother me. I'm not sure. Do you know how to make a murder look like an accident? Some kind of refreshment, please. Certainly, madame. What can I get you? Tea. I need to keep my wits about me. Camille returns so quickly with the tea that you're certain she made it ahead of time. It's piping hot, fragrant, and not too bitter. In a large cup just like Flippers loves. You drink the brew in silence, the gears of your mind slowly getting up to speed. The tiredness fades, your anger does not. You take a few moments to finish your drink in silence and collect your thoughts. Something that keeps coming to mind is all the gossip you've heard during your time at the party. Most of it was idle prattle, but some of it felt scandalous and valuable. Without an inheritance or a job, you'll need a way to make some money. Maybe someone would be willing to buy this gossip? Is it a thing people do? Camille taps her chin thoughtfully. Well, when I was at Le Havre the other day, someone mentioned something about a newspaper with these amazing society pages. I think it's called Le Trumpet de People. They'd have to get their stories from somewhere. Why not you? In fact, I bet you'd be great at that. With that, your day begins. Explore Paris. Okay, so now we've got the shop and we've got the newspaper. Le Trompe de Peuple, a popular, if unscrupulous newspaper. Spend the day here to sell gossip and manipulate public opinion. You walk through the city, following Camille's directions. Eventually, you find yourself threading through narrow streets, the alleys packed with refuse and an occasional vagrant napping in the shade. Suddenly, the alleys open up into a wider street near a square. You can hear the splashing of a fountain nearby. You finally find the sign. The paint appears to be fresh, but the office seems awfully small. The door is locked, so you give it a knock. Nobody answers. Looking around, you find a hastily written note lodged on the door. It reads, "Office temporarily closed. Engaging in emergency fundraising efforts. P.S. Fear not this setback. The light of journalism shall never fade." Alright, if I'm there to sell stuff and they're looking for money, not good. It's at that moment you realize the splashing in the fountain is getting louder, accompanied by some of the most inventive profanity you've ever heard. Against your better judgment, you decide to investigate, and what do you find? You find Crupter! Ah, a reedy voice shouts triumphantly. You come upon a man in grubby finery, up to his knees in the fountain. His shoes have carefully been placed at the water's edge. He does a little jig as he drops a wet coin in his snuff box, which is clutched tightly in his other hand. Noticing your presence, the man in the fountain turns to you with a nod and smile and attempts to be ingratiating. Are you Pierre? His smile broadens and the man bows, his manner suddenly elegant. Why, in fact, I am. How may I be of service? I have some valuable social information for sale. If I wanted to sell some gossip, how would that work? Oh, new to this, are you? Don't worry. It's much easier than you think. Alright, so we have some cheap gossip. This list shows all the pieces of gossip that you have at the moment. Click on one of them. Gossip's value is determined by its tier of freshness, but it also has an effect. If you peddle influence, I'll take the gossip for free, but you can use that effect to change the standing of a faction. However, right now, you need money, so click to sell the gossip. Are you sure you want to sell this? We can sell it for 30. If you do this, there should be no chance of the public finding out. Alright, there we go. We got money. When you're ready, click to leave. You can always come back at a later time. Oh, there we go. 24th of Mars. You wake up the next morning, a polite knock on your bedroom door. Camille enters. Madame? Both confused and hesitant. There's a lot of letters for you here. Are they for me or Armand? They're for you. Every single one. Are these party invitations? Oh great, more chances to be humiliated by some people I don't know. Well, madame, you're a little famous right now. Everyone heard about your run-in with the dreadful party host a few days ago, how they preyed upon your honor and spirited away your carriage driver, leaving you trapped and alone. You don't think that's exactly how it happened, but decide against fretting over the details. Camille starts to talk faster and faster. Then when all was lost, you were saved by a beautiful stranger who escorted you home in the moonlight. It's so romantic. Oh, the rumors are already running rampant. Why, just in the market the other day, I heard someone say that you've taken a liking to... never mind. Never mind what? It's just rumors from the marketplace. Nothing you should dignify. In any case, this is your chance to meet people in the city who don't hate you. You've received many party invitations. You can now receive party invitations from all over Paris. Ah, cool. In fact, I'm sure that anyone who really judges you fairly is going to love you. Mercy, Camille. I really hope that's true. Ah, that's well and good, but how does any of this work? Don't worry, it's quite simple. Congratulations on successfully finishing the demo for Ambition, a Minuet, and Power. We sincerely hope that you enjoy the very beginning of Yvette's adventures in Paris. Please consider adding Ambition to your wish list on Steam or on the Humble Store. A Minuet and Power. This is a pretty fun and interesting dating sim. I appreciate you watching this video, and if you really liked it, then hit that thumbs up. Drop a comment down there. Tell me some things that you liked about it, and you know what? If you didn't like it, drop some comments down there and tell me why you didn't like it, or you didn't like me, or whatever. Appreciate you all very much. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You'll get notified anytime we post a new video or we go online with a live stream. Da Vinci Gaming. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.